a hell of a journey for me since I started playing this instrument. I was probably in my 40s when I started playing. So that means doesn't matter how old you are, you can start at any age to play an instrument. And of course I got through that traumatic time in my life, which was the divorce. That was the reason I started playing. But something else came up, and I'll share this as well. In 2008, I had the opportunity to play for the Dalai Lama when he was doing the Seeds of Compassion tour in Seattle. And so it wasn't me just getting the gig, it was my friend Gene Tagaban. Gene Tagaban is Tlingit and Cherokee and Filipino. He calls himself an Indopino. And so he is a storyteller, he is a raven dancer, he's a flute player, a musician, and an actor. And I saw him and my friend Swilcanum, Richard Marshall is the English name, Swilcanum is Lummi. He's a classical violinist and a storyteller. And both of those guys were in one of Sherman Alexa's movies. And so, before I even knew them, but anyways, and that became my friends, and Gene goes, hey, I got this gig at the Key Arena in the Dalai Lama, it's a Children's Day, and I only have 20 minutes on stage. Do you want to go? I said, heck yeah. And so here we are on stage, and we get to play, and I get to play my flute, and I was in awe. I was in total awe, and it was such a cool thing. But the thing about that, and I was just getting involved in playing in different places. About a few months after that, that happened about in the summertime. At the end of the year, I went to the doctor because I wasn't feeling so good. Not in my tummy, but anyways, I had a pain in my groin. And so I was told, my girlfriend at the time, she goes, you need to go to the doctor. Guys are like, nah. So I went to the doctor anyways, and he said, I can't figure out what's going on with you. He says, go get an ultrasound. And so I got the ultrasound. And so the next day, the nurse calls me and says, you need to come in soon. And I said, why? What's going on? So I tried to self-diagnose on the computer. The worst thing you could ever do. Ever. And so I panicked. And so I went to a urologist. Oh no, here we go. And so the urologist was trying to show me on this computer screen, well, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, whatever. And so let's take some blood. Okay, an hour later, the results come back. And he says, you have cancer. I said, oh. And you have choices to make. And I said, oh, you can do nothing at all, get a second opinion, or I have surgery in 2 days. I said, I'll take the surgery. So I was diagnosed with testicular cancer. And I know guys are like, we don't talk about that. I know women are like all over the place about cancer. Well, guys need to speak up too. And so I went into surgery. It was a 1 or 2 hour surgery, 1 or 2 hour recovery. And I lost a body part. And afterwards they said, well, now you have to see an oncologist. I go, I thought we were done. No. He says, you have choices to make. And I know cancer gives you choices. So he says, you can get a second opinion, we can do surgery and chemo, or we can just do chemo. I said, you've already cut into me once. Let's just do the chemo. He says, excellent choice. So at the start of 2009, I was at Providence in Everett, in the 3rd floor infusion center, and I did 2 kinds of chemo, but for the first to start, I did this one kind, and it was 8 hours a day, 5 days, for 5 days. And the second week, 1 day, using cisplatin, which is so bad you can't get it on your hands. And then the third week, a rest so that your white blood cell count can come up. See, the cancer had traveled to 6 inches behind my belly button and in my lymph nodes. And so I go, oh. And so, anyways, while I was there, it was kind of boring, because you're there, you're tied to the IV tree. And I go, can I bring my flutes in here? And they said, sure. So I brought my flutes in there, and there's a ton of people that are in there with all kinds of different cancer. And so I played a couple songs here and there. When I was done with the chemo, and my hair fell out too, because I used to have like long hair and a Fu Manchu. I looked a lot different. And so I had my hair tied into a ponytail, and I had the ponytail cut off. My friend Gene Tagaban, my Tlingit friend, he says, you don't give that away. You keep that, and someday you'll know what to do with it. Fine, I did. And I just kept it like this ever since then. And that was 14 or 15 years ago. But at any rate, I used to go back to the infusion center and play for the people who were still going through cancer treatment. And I would say, look at me. I said, I'm doing really well, and you will too. And you have to give people hope. You have to give people who are going through this hope. And you tell them, you got to believe in yourself. You can believe in whatever higher power you want, that's cool. But you got to believe in yourself, because somehow this is connected to all this. And me, I was fighting, going, I'm not done, I'm not done, I'm not done. I've got too much that I still want to do. But it did open my eyes up to realize that life is really short, really short. And so I just want to be happy. I don't want to be rich. I just want to be happy. I want to do my thing and work with the schools and kids and continue doing my flute music and whatnot and stuff. Because sometimes you have to go through something bad to get to something good and stuff. So anyways, there's my cancer story. I'm 15, 16 years in remission. And so I'm always, thank you very much. I'm always kind of like, looking at people careful. You know, it's like, I hope this doesn't come back. I have too many years, I still want to do stuff. Anyways, I do play for people in hospice, and I've done weddings, I've done all kinds of cool stuff. So, but mainly, my purpose on earth is to serve, to give to people. So, I'm going to play this flute here. This is made by a flute maker in Sedona, Arizona. I met, and he's a Gulf War vet. And so he's a native guy named David Wolfrow. And so I met him out there at a concert, and so we started talking. He doesn't make flutes anymore because you're not supposed to breathe in the sawdust. It's not good for you. And his doctor says, you need to stop doing this. And so this is his last flute. And it says, last flute. And anyways, so this song is for any veterans in the audience or anybody who has a veteran in your family, past, present, future. And whatnot. So this was his medicine for PTSD, as it is for me.